We've been talking about silly season here a lot lately, but why exactly do some of these decisions get made and what exactly are all the factors at play during this time of the year? We're going to discuss all of that today. Let's go. It's Tuesday, October 15th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. Eldora Speedway's final big event of 2024 starts this coming Thursday with the 44th Dirt Track World Championship. They're going to have the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series finale. That highlights the weekend. We're going to learn about who the champion is going to be. There's also modifieds, super stocks, and steel block late models. If you're going to be in town, make sure to stop by the Whistle Stop and grab something good to eat. It's just 7 miles straight south of the racetrack to Ansonia. All week, you can get breakfast, lunch, dinner, pizza. You can even bring food back to the racetrack with you. And when you stop in, they've got a full bar so you can enjoy a nice adult beverage. Andrew and his staff do a great job, so if you stop in, make sure to tell them that DIRTRACKR sent you. If you want to ride a little bit further south, head to Sure Shot Tap House in Greenville, Ohio. It's a great place to eat, drink, and play. They've got a full menu plus all sorts of adult beverage options on tap. They got the Bullseye Game Lounge upstairs. There's duck pin bowling, 24 arcade games. They've got it all. When you're not at the track, keep yourself fed and entertained with these two establishments, the Whistle Stop and Sure Shot Tap House. Thanks to them for their support of Eldora and of this show. I'm going to go kind of monologue-y today. I have kind of a lot of thoughts about the situation, so we're just going to let it eat here. Something I've been thinking about a lot lately, especially as we're at a point in the season where rides are starting to change, crew guys are moving around and all of that. The mindset and motivation of the dirt racing car owners, how they decide what these things are that they're going to do. How do they decide they're going to fire that driver or hire that crew chief? And I know that sounds like it might be a little broad or general, but just hear me out here. I think for the vast majority of car owners at the highest levels of the sport, it's not like they're just drowning in profits. Expenses keep rising, and while the prize money continues to go up as well, it's clearly not keeping up with the money going out the door. Sponsorships are difficult to find, and a lot of these folks are just doing it because they love racing. And some are business owners. They can use these teams as a way to have some tax stuff, write-offs, all of that for their books. So that's obviously something we can't overlook. But as we start to see combinations come together for 2025, what exactly are some of these car owners looking to do? Because when it's not necessarily about making as much money as possible, what's left? And I think we can look to baseball as an example. The Oakland A's, for most of the last few decades, have had one of the lowest payrolls in baseball. The owner won't shell out the cash. The team is okay enough each season, but they can sit back and collect their rights fees and ballpark revenue and do well for themselves. It's a big reason why they're moving from Oakland to likely Las Vegas in the future. And that's not uncommon in sports. Baseball is not just the only place where this happens. Some owners are okay with mediocrity because they can still make a lot of money. They get to say they own a sports team, they make money, and they're cool with that. But that's not true in racing. If you skimp out on your sprint car or late model operation, you're going to get worked on the track and in your wallet. And I think we can look around at several situations in the sport of the last few years, and it makes you wonder. Like the SSI Ricky Thornton Jr. Hudson O'Neal situation, I think is a perfect example. That car with RTJ was lights out, winning everything, top of the sport. Then out of nowhere in the middle of the summer, Thornton is gone and O'Neal is in. Not that O'Neal is a bad driver, but that car hasn't been anywhere near where it was previously. O'Neal didn't make the Lucas Chase and hasn't won a series race since July. We'll likely never know for sure exactly what went sideways between Todd Burns and RTJ, but you certainly can't blame it on performance. So is this vibes, or is there a money factor, or maybe both? And maybe money is a factor here. Is Burns happier now watching his car with O'Neal in it versus RTJ? And if the money stuff was equal here, what's better, vibes or winning? And I think this is going to be an interesting team to watch this offseason, as if some of the rumblings are true, significant changes are coming to the SSI Motorsports team, some of their own doing, others maybe not. There are definitely situations where drivers or crew guys wear out their welcome with these teams, and no matter what they bring, the hassle and headache just isn't worth whatever their contributions are. And just to be clear, I'm not saying that's what happened with RTJ, I just want that disclaimer here, but it has happened to other places. But then also, the flip side is true. Not every deal is about a driver getting fired, and sometimes guys leave teams because they're not happy with how things have gone, which decisions have been made. Remember, there are big egos involved on all sides, and sometimes that just doesn't go well. But as we start seeing drivers get hired for 2025, understand there was a significant amount of thought that went into those moves. And right now, all over the sport, phone calls and text messages are flying every day as everyone tries to position themselves for the future. For the team owners, there are obviously no lack of available drivers. So what is it that they're looking for? Is it just the fastest driver? Is it a guy who's maybe not as fast, but maybe brings a little cash? Or are you willing to hire that unknown or not great driver because he can bring a big check and fund your deal for the whole season? And when you do start to zero in on that guy that you maybe want to hire, then is he going to get along with the crew you have? Do you need to hire new crew guys? Does he gel with the equipment you have? Because those things aren't plug and play. The combination of parts and pieces, chassis, all of those things, engines, along with the driver and crew, all of those things put together matter. I was talking to an industry friend actually not that long ago about this exact thing. And think about a situation like Buick Motorsports on the sprint car side. They lose Justin Peck, so what's the move? And I'm sure team phones were going off nonstop with potential candidates, but they settle on Dazen Pursley. And Dazen's talent and potential are right where you'd hope for a young driver. But will he get along with that existing team? Should they have gone with the young driver? Should they have gone with a more veteran driver? Is there funding in line for next season? Does Dazen care about what chassis they have, what engines, what shocks? These are all things these guys have to deal with. I messaged a bit today with someone at a dirt racing team about their driver situation for next year that may or may not be fluid. I had heard some rumors and was hoping to maybe get a little bit of clarity. That person, not sure how it's going to play out with this current wheelman. So to cover themselves, the team is fielding calls from other drivers and trying to see who's available and what those deals could look like on the chance that that driver moves on, either voluntarily or not. It's a constant moving target. I'm sure most of us would be stunned to know all of the conversations that have happened between parties over the years that never did play out. I did a daily show earlier this year about Mark Richards and Rocket Racing looking into the possibility of hiring Jonathan Davenport. That would have been another bombshell had that actually happened this year amongst a season of already several dirt late model bombshells. All of these things, they've been bouncing around my head here lately, and I just wanted to put it all out and have the conversation with you guys about it. Sometimes we're going to look at these choices and wonder what the hell they were thinking, and other times we're going to talk about how we would have made the same decision ourselves. But that doesn't mean necessarily that either of those situations, either of our reactions is the correct one. But that's why all of this is so interesting to follow. As we move forward, the late model side has been very quiet as of late, but big questions still remain. Make no mistake about that. We don't know, at least officially, who's getting the Longhorn house car deal. What will Brandon Shepard's next season look like? Is RTJ staying at Kohler? What happens with Chris Madden? Does Rocket keep Tim McCready? And I'm sure there's more I'm not thinking of. And on the sprint car side, what earlier this year I think initially looked like it might be a quieter offseason is suddenly starting to sound like it could be just as hot as last year with drivers moving and crew guys and series choices. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about all of this. We'll call that good for today. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.